Picture a rain-slick highway. A neon sign hums over a lonely diner at the edge of town. The clock above the pie case ticks like a small heartbeat. Tick, tick, tick. Sophia wipes a counter with slow, steady strokes. She's 23. Eyes tired, but kind. Sleeves rolled up. Coffee steam curls around her face like breath on a winter window. Outside, wind whispers against the glass. Inside, the jukebox whispers too, a soft, broken song that keeps looping the same 3 notes. The door creaks. 2 men in damp hoodies slouch onto stools. Laughter that doesn't smile. A chair scrapes the tile with a sharp, ugly sound. One of them leans in. Smile for us, sweetheart. The word sticks like gum under the table. Sophia's hands do not shake. Not yet. What can I get you? She asks. Voice calm. Clear. She keeps her eyes on the order pad. She has rules. Don't look scared. Don't look angry. Keep it moving. They test the rules. A finger taps her name tag. A palm drops too close to her wrist. The air grows tight. You can feel it, right? Like a storm trapped in a jar. Emma, the dishwasher, peeks from the kitchen door. A drip of water echoes from the ceiling vent. 1, 2, 3. Silence. Come on, the taller one says. Sit with us. Just for a minute. The other one laughs. The laugh fills the diner and squeezes it smaller. Sophia steps back. A soft breath. She glances at the corner booth where Evelyn, the owner, is counting receipts. Evelyn's knuckles go white around a pencil. The pencil snaps. You hear it. Like a twig. Then, the bell over the door rings. Boots. Heavy. Wet. The scent of road and rain. Leather jackets dark as night. 3 bikers step in out of the weather and let the door thud shut. John. Robert. Michael. Their faces are quiet, like mountains after thunder. No hurry. No show. The hoodies turn. The room holds its breath. You feel it too, don't you? That moment before the match strikes, before the first chord drops, before a hand decides what kind of hand it will be, fist or open palm. Here's the thing about diners on stormy nights. Strangers can become a story. And stories can save someone. Tick, tick, tick. The clock waits to see which kind this will be. Rain wrote silver lines down the windows. The neon open flickered like a tired eye. Inside, the diner was a chorus of small sounds. Coffee drip, spatula clang, the whisper of napkin against chrome. It was late, yet everything felt exposed, like a secret told too close to a microphone. Sophia moved the way people move when they've practiced being calm. Balanced. Precise. She set a mug on the counter. Decaf? It's fresh. The taller hoodie shrugged. We want you, not coffee. She kept her voice even. House rule is coffee first. He smirked. Break a rule. At the pass, Emma mouthed, You okay? Sophia gave a tiny nod. Her fingers brushed the ticket wheel. Metal on skin. Cold. Evelyn stood from the corner booth, small but fierce, her grey hair pulled into a sharp knot. Gentlemen, she said, let the girl work. Girl. The second man swiveled on his stool. We're being friendly. The word friendly came out like a bruise. Tick, tick, tick. The doorbell's chime still hung in the air from moments before, a thin, bright sound against the wet hush. John shook water from his gloves near the door and scanned the room. Eyes steady. A quiet study. Robert slid into the nearest booth, leather creaking. Michael paused at the pie case and smiled at the lemon meringue. Looks like a cloud, he murmured. The hoodies noticed them now. Great, the taller one muttered. A parade. John stepped to the counter. Evening. His voice was gravel after rain. 3 coffees. Black. If that's all right. Sophia nodded quickly. Coming up. She moved like a breeze through a crowded room, fast but gentle. She could sense it, the fork in the road. To the left, trouble. To the right, less trouble, maybe. Which way would the night turn? As she poured, the taller hoodie tapped the mug with one finger. Tap, Tap, tap. Hey, waitress. Sophia. You hear us? A slow grin. We were talking. Sophia placed the coffee. Now I'm listening. What's your order? No order, he said. He leaned closer. The smell of cheap cologne and wet nylon. Just company. Silence. Do you know that hush that lands before a team decides whether to fight or to play clean? That was the hush. The bikers didn't move, but the room moved around them, the way water flows around stones. Evelyn's pencil, taped back together, hovered above her ledger. Emma gripped a dish towel with both hands. Outside, a semi roared past and threw light across the booths like a quick, golden river. John lifted his mug. Thank you, He sipped. He looked at Sophia, then at the men. Everything all right here? The taller one chuckled and set his elbow wide, taking more space than he owned. We're just getting to know our server. Then learn her name, John said. You already did. Stop testing it. The second hoodie rolled his neck. Who asked you? Robert didn't look up. He tore a corner of napkin and folded it once. Twice. The paper creaked. Michael tasted the lemon pie with his eyes and said softly, Friend, don't sour a sweet place. The taller man's smile fell. For a moment. Then he smiled bigger. It didn't reach his eyes. You gonna make us stop talking? He asked. The air went thinner. Even the coffee seemed to hold still in the cups. Sophia's pulse fluttered in her throat. She felt her own hand steadying on the counter's cold edge. She had been here before, nights like this. Nights that demand courage or silence. Which would you choose? The bell over the door stirred again in a gust. Wind whispered. The taller hoodie leaned in too far, past friendly, past safe. His voice turned quiet and mean. Tell your friends to mind their business. John set his mug down. Porcelain on laminate. Soft. Certain. And then the taller man's hand slid toward his jacket pocket. The clock ticked once, loud as a hammer. Tick. What was he going to pull out? Sophia saw the motion, hand to pocket, and felt the world slow. Every sound got sharp. The fryer hissed like rain on tin. The jukebox clicked. Emma's breath snagged. Evelyn's shoes whispered as she shifted toward the phone. Don't, John said. Just one syllable, but it carried across the counter like a beam. Not shouted. Not begged. A line on the floor. The taller man stopped with his fingers inside the pocket. He grinned without teeth. Relax, he said. I ain't grabbing nothing. He pulled out a lighter, flicked it open, then shut. Flame. Duck. Flame. Duck. A game. See. Robert unfolded from his booth. Big, but not loud. His boots thudded once, then went quiet. He placed himself so there was space between Sophia and the men. Not blocking. Buffering. Michael, still by the pie case, slipped a napkin holder into the crook of his elbow. One small, silly shield. He smiled at Sophia, a gentle smile that said, We see you. Evening's rough enough, Robert said. Let's keep it soft. The second hoodie tilted his head. Soft. He pushed his stool back so the legs screeched. The sound cut the air like a blade. He stood, shoulders squared. We're just talking. What are you really after? Michael asked. His voice was calm water. You want her scared? That do something for you. The man blinked. Words fell out of him slower now. He glanced at his friend, then back at Sophia. He didn't finish. Sometimes truth hides behind noise. Sometimes you have to make the room quiet to hear it. The diner went very quiet. Sophia swallowed. Please, she said, and her voice trembled once, like a leaf at the edge of a pond. Just let me do my job. John's eyes softened. He remembered a sister in a different town, a night long ago, a bar where no one stood up. The memory tasted like old pennies. Fellas, he said, you can eat in peace or you can leave. Those are the options. The taller hoodie flipped the lighter. Flame. Duck. He looked at John's jacket patch. You think that bike makes you sheriff? No, John said. Decency does. Do you feel it building? That tight thread between choices? What would you do, standing right there with a hot mug and a cold fear, if you knew kindness might not be enough? Evelyn cleared her throat. Coffee's on the house if everyone calms down, she said. No one needs to call anyone. Emma, hand still on the towel, edged toward the back phone anyway. Her sneakers squeaked. The sound was tiny, but the taller man's eyes snapped to it. Don't you touch that, he said. His lighter clacked shut. He pointed with it. No cops. John didn't look away. Then be the kind of man who doesn't invite them. Wind pressed the door. The bell trembled but did not ring. Outside, a truck's horn moaned like a foghorn. Inside, the smell of cinnamon pie, cold rain, and tension braided together. Sophia's hand slipped into her apron pocket. She touched the small silver coin her father gave her. A comfort. A reminder. You are not small. Michael spoke to the air, to the room, to the men. We're riding tomorrow for a kids' fundraiser, he said. Helmet Drive. We stop for pie. We stop for coffee. We stand for women working late. That's our schedule. The second hoodie laughed once, short, as if he didn't know whether to sneer or to listen. The taller one leaned closer. His voice dropped. Or what? John didn't flinch. Or we'll stay until she's safe. That's all. No threats. No tough talk. We just outlast you. He took another sip of coffee and set the cup down like a quiet verdict. Silence. Sophia felt something steady in the space the bikers built. A small platform to stand on. She drew a breath. Please take a booth, she said to the men. Order something. Or head out. Your choice. The words surprised even her. They came out stronger than the fear. For a heartbeat, it looked like it might work. The taller man rolled his shoulder like he was releasing the night. He turned half away. Then he flicked his lighter again, and with the same hand, he nudged the sugar caddy hard. It slammed into Sophia's hip, sugar packets exploding like tiny white birds. Emma gasped. Evelyn stepped forward. Robert's jaw flexed. John put his palm flat on the counter. That's enough. The taller man smiled. Make me. And from somewhere deep, John said, okay. He reached into his pocket, not fast, not slow, and brought out a silver coin that flashed under the neon. Heads you apologize, John said, holding the coin where they could see it. Tails you walk away. We let this night go easy. No one gets smaller. Deal. The coin gleamed in the hum of the diner light. The taller man's eyes tracked the shine. John flipped it high. It turned over and over in the air. Silver, dark, silver, and began to fall. The coin spun. Time loosened. The world became a tight circle of light around that small, bright disk. Even the rain seemed to pause at the glass. Sophia watched it like a prayer. Clink. It landed on the counter and skittered toward the pie case, bumping a fork, gliding past a water ring, then stopping on the edge of a napkin. It wobbled. It wobbled again. Heads, Robert said softly, already reading the face. Wait, the taller man snapped. His palm slapped down over the coin before it settled. The sound cracked through the room. No games. John lifted his eyes. That was the whole point. The man's hand stayed heavy on the coin. Knuckles pale. He leaned in close enough that Sophia could see the frayed threads on his hoodie. I don't answer to you. Good, John said. Answer to yourself. He angled his body, not blocking, not crowding, just present. What kind of night do you want to remember? Michael stepped closer to Sophia, but he didn't look at the men. He looked at her. You good? He asked quietly. Sophia nodded once. Her hands trembled now, small earthquakes she tried to hide by squeezing them into fists. She breathed slow through her nose. In. Out. The smell of coffee grounded her. The hiss from the grill steadied her. She could feel the coin her father gave her warming under her palm in her apron pocket. A promise she carried. You can stand. Emma inched nearer with the dustpan, ready to sweep the burst sugar. She kept her eyes low. You want me to? It's okay, Sophia whispered. Wait. The second hoodie shifted on his feet. He looked at Evelyn. At the door. At the window where headlights smeared the night like melted stars. You could see the thought in him. This is small. We are making it big. Why? He opened his mouth as if to say it. But the taller one pressed the coin harder into the laminate, jaw tight. Heads, tails, who cares? He said. We're not leaving. Evelyn's voice floated across the counter like a bell. John, she said, tell them about Lily. It surprised everyone. Even John. John blinked. You remember that? Evelyn nodded once. I remember everything that matters. Michael's eyes flicked between them. Robert's shoulders eased a fraction. The taller hoodie frowned. Who's Lily? John took a breath. The kind of breath a man takes when he decides to open a chest he keeps closed. My sister, he said. Worked nights. Like her. Two guys decided they owned the room. Folks looked away. She had to walk out to the lot alone. He rolled the words like stones in his mouth. I decided after that. No more rooms like that if I could help it. The taller man's grip wavered. Not much. Enough. Sophia felt a heat behind her eyes. Not just fear. Recognition. How many people carry quiet vows made on dark nights? What good are stories? The second man asked, but not like a challenge. More like a man asking himself. 2. Stories build rules inside you, Michael said. Soft rules. The ones you follow even when nobody's watching. Do you believe that? That the right words can turn a room? That a memory can lift a hand off a coin? The taller man eased his palm. A breath slipped out of him. He pulled his hand back. The coin lay on the counter like a tiny moon under neon dusk. Heads. A woman on one side. Liberty. The kind that isn't loud. Robert nodded to the coin, as if to say, see? Even small metal knows. The taller man licked his lips. Pride fought with something older and better. He started. The word stuck. He swallowed. The doorbell rang. New boots. More wet leather. 5 silhouettes filled the doorway like a chorus behind a solo. The wind pushed in around them, bringing the smell of rain and the big road night. Patches. Helmets. Gentle eyes in tough faces. Reinforcements. The second hoodie stepped back on instinct. The taller one stiffened, then put his shoulders higher, as if height could hold back a tide. John didn't turn. He kept his gaze on the man in front of him, on the coin, on the way a choice was trying to be born. You were saying, he murmured. Outside, a siren's faraway cry threaded through the rain. Not close. Not yet. Just the idea of consequence traveling on water. The taller man breathed hard through his nose. He twisted his mouth into a sneer to keep from softening. He lifted his hand. He lifted his voice. What would he choose? I'm sorry, the taller man forced out. It came out rough, like a rusty hinge. He shoved the coin back with 2 fingers. It skittered toward John. The room exhaled. Sophia hadn't realized she'd been holding her breath until it left her in a shaky laugh. Emma's shoulders dropped 2 inches. Evelyn's chin lifted. Thank you, Sophia said. Simple words. True. She bent to gather sugar packets with the dustpan Emma slid to her. The packets made soft paper noises, like tiny apologies. The second hoodie stared at the floor. We were just messing around, he muttered. He sounded like a boy caught stealing cherries. He looked up. We good? We will be, John said. After you order pie. Michael cracked a smile. Lemon meringue is mercy in a crust. A ripple of chuckles moved through the diner. Even the jukebox seemed to find a new note. Outside, the rain softened to a steady curtain. The 5 bikers who had just entered took quiet seats along the window, as if the room had assigned them places. The taller man's pride flared again. Pride can be stubborn when it thinks it's losing ground. He looked at the new arrivals. He looked at the old ones. He looked at Sophia, at the way she held herself now, not small, not shaky, just present. Something in him bristled. You think you won, he said, and his voice had that edge again. He tapped the counter hard. You think you taught us anything? No, Robert said. We remembered something together. He flicked a sugar packet upright with one finger. That people matter. Who are you to tell us what matters? The taller man shot back. Evelyn stepped forward from behind the register with a photograph in a cracked frame. She set it on the counter. A young woman in a waitress uniform stood between two men with bikes, all smiling under the same neon sign. The same diner, years ago. That was my daughter, Evelyn said. Her name was Lily. John and his crew made sure she got to her car every night when it got late. People stand for people. That's how this place stays open in a world that tries to close it. A hush fell. Not fear now. Memory. Michael traced the photo's wooden edge with a gentle fingertip. She had your smile, he told Evelyn. The taller hoodie swallowed hard. He looked at the picture, then at the coin, then at his own reflection in the chrome napkin holder. His face looked older in the warped shine. What if we don't want your help? He said, but there wasn't much bite left. You didn't ask, John replied. She needed it. That's enough. The second hoodie tugged the first one's sleeve. Let's go, man, he said, voice low. This isn't us. Isn't it? The taller one said, but softly, like he wasn't sure. A flash of blue and red smeared across the wet window. The distant siren wasn't distant anymore. Somebody else must have called. Or maybe the night just kept receipts. Do you feel that tilt? When the story could still break either way if one person tries to save face instead of saving the room. The door opened again, and a patrol officer stepped in, rain spitting off his shoulders. He took in the scene with a seasoned glance. Evening, he said to Evelyn. Everything squared away here. Evelyn looked at the men, then at Sophia, then at John. She nodded. We're settling up. The officer's eyes landed on the hoodies. You fellas need a ride? He asked. It wasn't a threat. It was an open door with rules on the other side. The taller man's jaw worked. He glanced at Sophia. His hand lifted, dropped, lifted again. Finally, he found the words he'd been aiming for and missing. I'm sorry, he said, clearer this time. For real. Sophia nodded. Thank you, she said again. Do you want coffee? It's fresh. He blinked, surprised by the clean offer after a dirty hour. He shook his head no, then yes, then settled on yes. Yeah, he said. Black. He tried a smile. It didn't fit yet. It would. John tipped his chin to the officer. We'll stay till they finish the cup. The officer nodded. That'll do. He stepped back out into the rain and pulled the door closed. The bell chimed, light as forgiveness. Robert slid onto his booth again. Michael finally ordered his lemon meringue. The five by the window talked in low voices about roots and weather and a kid named Matteo who needed a new helmet. The diner's hum returned, softer, warmer. Sophia poured coffee for the two men who had almost turned the night dark. The taller one wrapped both hands around the mug like it was heat he needed. He didn't meet her eyes. Not yet. He would. He would remember this night every time he reached for a lighter. He would remember the coin. He would remember a photo. Maybe he would change. Or maybe not. People are heavy ships to turn. But the room had turned. And then Evelyn tapped the glass of the pie case and said, Michael, if you don't eat that cloud, it's going to rain again. Laughter spilled. Real laughter this time. The night had one more card to play. Because not all debts are paid with money. The storm thinned to a silver mist, like the sky exhaling. The neon open hummed steady now, as if the sign itself had relaxed. The clock ticked softer. Tick, tick, tick. Sophia cleared the counter in easy arcs. Sugar packets back in their corral. Forks lined like little soldiers. Her hands had stopped shaking. Her breath had found a rhythm that matched the kitchen fan. Emma bumped her shoulder. You were amazing, she whispered. I was scared, Sophia said. Me too, Emma said. But you were still amazing. Evelyn rang up the bikers, but John shook his head. All of it, he said, setting down a folded bill wide as a palm. For the house. For Lily. For the nights that don't get worse because a few people choose better. You don't have to, Evelyn murmured. We get to, Michael said. He finally had pie on his plate. He closed his eyes after the first bite. Mercy, like I told you. Robert slid a small metal tin onto the counter. It wasn't the usual plastic tip jar. It was dented and honest. Someone had engraved a tiny helmet on the side. He wrote in thick marker, Safe Ride Fund. He pushed it toward Sophia. For anyone who needs a cab at closing, he said. No questions. Sophia stared at it. Her eyes flooded fast and hot. She blinked the water back and laughed at herself. I don't know what to say. Say you'll use it, John said. Say you'll ask for help before the world makes you pay interest. She nodded. I will. The two hoodies finished their coffee like men who had walked a long way and only just realized it. The taller one reached into his pocket. He pulled out a handful of change and a crumpled small bill. He glanced at the tin. His face worked. He put the money in. It clinked loud for how little it was. Thank you for the coffee, he said. And for not, he swallowed. For not making me smaller. Sophia held his gaze now. We all forget who we are sometimes, she said. Remember better. He nodded. He touched the brim of an imaginary cap. Then he and his friend stepped into the soft rain and were gone. The door shut. The bell sang once more. The diner exhaled again, like a theater after the credits roll and the lights come up. Evelyn traced the photos frame. Lily would have loved this, she said. She always said stories are like bridges. They are, Michael said around another fork of pie. We crossed one tonight. John picked up the silver coin. He flipped it once, low, and caught it. He slid it across to Sophia. For your pocket, he said. In case the night asks you to decide again. She brought out the coin she already carried and set it beside his. 2 small moons under the same neon sky. I already do, she said. But thank you for the extra light. Robert chuckled. Double heads. Double luck. Double choice, Emma said. Double reminder. The 5 by the window rose one by one, stretching the road from their shoulders into their spines. They gave little salutes, shy waves, soft grins. Bikers, sure. But tonight they were something quieter. The kind of men who make a room safe without making a scene of themselves. The officer's car drifted past the window again. Slow, just checking. The world kept turning. Do you feel it now? The way a small place can teach a big lesson? The way boots and aprons and coins and pie can answer the question we whisper into the dark. Will someone stand with me if it gets hard? John paused at the door and looked back at Sophia. You held the line first, he said. We just helped you see it. Sophia smiled. Come by tomorrow, she said. Pie's on me. Tomorrow, Michael echoed, patting the tin as he passed. And the next day. This road runs both directions. They were gone into the drizzle, a soft thunder moving away. The diner quieted to its old music. Plates, low talk, wind rounding the building, the clock politely counting time. Evelyn turned the photo toward the room. Emma wiped a circle on the fogged window with her sleeve and drew a small helmet and a bigger heart. Sophia tucked both coins in her apron. She stood a little taller. The safe ride tin glinted under the neon like a lighthouse for tiny ships. Because here's the truth no one teaches you in school. Heroes don't always arrive with sirens. Sometimes they come with coffee orders and careful words. Sometimes they carry the road in their jackets and gentleness in their hands. Sometimes they are you, in an apron, with trembling fingers that still pour steady cups. The rain eased. The night leaned in and listened. Silence. What would you have done in that diner? Kept your head down? Or stood up in a quiet way? And when have you seen a small act turn a whole room around? Tell me your story. I'm listening.